Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Reverend Candace Shibata. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm so thankful to have you join in and tuning in for this morning's Sunday Dharma service. It's November 28th, 2021, and I'm here at the Buddhist Church of Stockton, and I'm so glad again that you can join me. So today, I wanted to begin by just stating that I hope that everybody had a good holiday break. If you celebrated or observed Thanksgiving, I hope you had a wonderful time with your friends and family. And of course, again, November, not only this past week, but November and every day, as I had mentioned last week, is a day of gratitude. We should have 365 days of Thanksgiving and gratitude. So maybe this holiday is just a reminder of that, of how we should live our lives in deep, deep gratitude. So I'd like to start today's service with the tolling of the bell called the Kansho. So please sit with me, be mindful of this moment that we have, that again, that won't be recreated, even though we might meet again next week. So please sit with me during the tolling of the bell. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that moment of quiet sitting during the Kansho. We'll continue the service with the opening meditation, which is always prepared so beautifully by Mrs. Darlene Bagshaw.
No one has any problems there. San Luis Obispo. Sea breeze blows soft up in your hair. San Luis Obispo. No one talks about what they need in San Luis Obispo. They won't take in the demon seed in San Luis Obispo. It's something special there. Oh, yeah. I feel it everywhere. Oh, I've got to go. San Luis, oh, get on with the show. Up the coast and the 101, San Luis Obispo. California tickets stand for fun. San Luis Obispo. Happy faces comprise the scene in San Luis Obispo. No one's ugly and no one's mean in San Luis Obispo. I met your brother there. So, yeah, yeah, another you could be there. Oh, I miss you so. I want you to know I love you so. Everybody can form a line in San Luis Obispo. Clap your hands, do a double time in San Luis Obispo. Don't need drugs there to set you free. San Luis Obispo. And that's the place that I want to be. San Luis Obispo. San Luis Obispo. San Luis Obispo.
Please join me in Gasho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Thank you, Darlene. At first, I thought, "Is that Kermit the Frog singing?" I didn't I didn't recognize the voice, but then when I heard the music, then I thought, "Oh, we're going to San Luis Obispo." So I love that we're traveling to all of our different sister temples, not only within our Northern California district, but in the Coast District as well. And I think we've been maybe to San Jose, San Luis Obispo. So it's been exciting to see all of our Dharma friends and making Nembutsu connections through the different slideshows. So thank you so much, Darlene.
And I was shocked that I found a song that had about San Luis
San Luis
Obispo.
Obispo.
That's kind of cute. So I had to use it. So
Now you know that you can search the internet for anything, and there might be a song about Stockton, who knows? So thank you, Darlene. Okay, so I'll go ahead and share my screen so that we can continue on with the service. Okay, so can you see my slideshow here? And we'll go ahead and start from the current slide. So please join me in the sutra chanting of Jusege. And as I always mention, and I think again, it's a nice reminder to be able to chant together. I had the opportunity to go to Senshin Buddhist Temple and to hear the few members that were actually in the temple. They did chant along, and I know each temple kind of has their own protocol, but I think for us it was so nice to be able to hear this oneness, all of our voices coming together. And that particular day we chanted some of the wasan, some of the hymns of Shinran Shonin, and so that was just a particularly heartwarming experience because I do miss hearing all of your beautiful voices. So please chant along with me so we can be one during the sutra chanting of Jusege. Okay. Gagon chosegan hishima jodo shigan fumanzog seifu joshogak gao muryoko fui dai seshu fusai shobingu seifu joshogak gashi jobutsudo myosho chojipo kukyo mishomon seifu joshogak ryokujin shonen joeshu bongyo shigumu jodo isho tenishi jiniki and daiko 書無才道少女三苦名交際集約難回避知恵言滅し根門案閉塞小悪道通達税宗門高僧上満足いよどじぽ日月主十期天候音符言一種解放像公正苦読法上大集中説法ししく空用一切物空即習得本金質上満得意三害用女仏無下知通達未不詳感覚エリック投資最小損志願や効果大勢の感動国書店人当知妙見ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブガニシクドク平等生産道本も大心おじょあんだこNamanda Namanda 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 Namanda. Okay, so thank you so much for chanting along with me at home. We'll continue the service with the reading of the Golden Chain number 2. Please join me by placing your palms together in Gasho. Golden Chain 2. I am a link in the Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in the Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, so at this time I wanted to share my Dharma message for today, and I wanted to start by reading a gosandai. So these are the words of either a Shinran Shonin or the words of the Buddha. So please join me by placing your palms together. It is difficult to meet true teachers and difficult for them to instruct. It is difficult to hear the teaching well and more difficult still to accept it. From Hymns of the Pure Land written by Shinran Shonin. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, so again, good morning, and thank you again for tuning in today following the Thanksgiving holiday. And as I mentioned earlier, I hope that each of you were able to enjoy this time together with your friends and or your family members, for all of you who observe this holiday. So as usual, I would like to think that all of my Dharma messages are very personal in nature. They come from my own experiences, maybe things that I've read that have touched me or have really intrigued me. This one in particular today is very personal for me. And I must admit that I feel like a little out of sorts, maybe a loss for words. And this is due to the passing of my dear friend and my colleague in the Buddhist Churches of America just a few days ago. So yesterday, I was enjoying time with one of my other friends who came to visit me from Elk Grove. And it was a beautiful day, if you can recall, here in Stockton. Maybe a little bit chilly, but the sun was still shining. And I had an opportunity to spend time with my friend Lana. And she was interested, actually, in the little dog that I rescued here at the temple. And this little dog, who I named Pup Pup, was at the shelter that I had. Actually, my friend had coordinated, and so she had a home, and so she was ready to be adopted. So my friend Lana had seen my post that I had shared, and there was something, I think, that was calling to her. And I had asked her, well, what was it in my post that was that really attracted you to this dog? And she said this dog's eyes really spoke to her. And so it was a beautiful day. She met the dog and was able to adopt her. And we were spending time together. But unfortunately, I received news that my dear friend, Reverend Masanori Watanabe, passed away on Friday, November 26th in Japan. And so my whole day was shattered. I was still with my friend, Lana, and she was very comforting regarding my friend. And she knew that I was having a hard time. So she stayed with me yesterday and just sat quietly at my house and just kept me company. So Reverend Watanabe, if you recall, he served at the Oxnard Buddhist Temple before returning to Japan. And this was prior to the pandemic, so he was safely able to return home and be quarantined. And he returned home because, again, if you recall, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and continued to serve at the Oxnard Buddhist Temple as long as he could, even following his treatment and during his treatment, but decided to return home where his parents were so he can return to Japan and receive treatment there. So I must admit that it's been some time since we last communicated via email, which was following our birthdays. And I could always remember when his birthday was because it was always a day later, a day after mine. So February 27th is my birthday, and February 28th was his birthday. Although I believe he was 4 years older than me. And so it was always an opportunity for us to reconnect, wish each other a happy birthday, no matter where we were. If that meant he was in Oxnard and I might have been in Berkeley or in Florin. And this time of year, this year, he was in Japan. And I was able to email him and wish him a happy birthday. And surprisingly, I received an email very quickly right back. And he said, oh, I'm so sorry I didn't contact you yesterday, but I appreciate your birthday wishes. And he said, I am sending you something, and this is in appreciation for your wonderful friendship. And so maybe a week or so later, in maybe UPS or maybe FedEx, I received a dozen roses of all of these different beautiful colors that I haven't really seen before. It really brightened my day. And so it was something, again, it was an expression of his appreciation for our friendship. And so our friendship actually extends quite a few years. And when I met him, I believe in 2012, I was studying to receive my first level of ordination, Tokudo ordination. And Reverend Watanabe, in addition to two other ministers, came to Berkeley to study from Japan. And this is a training program for ministers wishing to leave Japan and spread the Buddha Dharma in other countries. And so that also includes mainland United States and Hawaii, Canada. And so ever since then, Watanabe Sensei and I were always very, very good friends. And there was something that always stood out to me in regards to Watanabe Sensei. He was a very diligent student, enjoyed the arts. He himself was an artist and a sculptor, and it was a passion of his, in addition to the Buddha Dharma. And I always thought, oh, he's very studious, more studious than I could ever be. And it was just something that always stood out. And he had this profound gratitude, very sincere, profound gratitude for encountering the Buddha Dharma in his life. And although he is from a family temple, he had written that he deeply encountered Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, especially in his 30s. And Reverend Watanabe, since then, just very, very diligently studied and read mass amounts of books, anything he could read. And I still recall visiting him in Oxnard, helping him get settled, as he didn't have any friends or family. And so I visited him in Oxnard, and I still recall him chanting several times a day and reading and again, just being so studious. And that's always touched my heart and inspired me to be a better student. And so again, I must admit that it's been some time since we last communicated, again, which was during my time celebrating our birthdays. And so when I heard of his passing, I think yesterday I was quite in shock. We received the email yesterday. I was quite in shock, and maybe that's why these tears are so easily rolling down my face. And I couldn't believe that my dear friend had passed away. I wasn't aware of maybe his turn in health. I knew that he was still battling cancer, but I regret not being a little bit more in contact with him, seeing how he was doing. But in his emails, he had always encouraged me to take care of my health, to know that self-care was very important in all, I think, professions, but in the ministry as well. And so he never dwelled on his illness, always encouraged me to take care of my health and my body, to prevent any illnesses that I could, and was always so encouraging. Always praised me for being able to enter into the ministry, although I never felt, again, like I was a good student, as good as he was. And so when I heard of his passing yesterday, and even this morning, I was trying to think of something tangible to hold on to him and to hold on to his memory. And so I was going through these things and thinking about, oh, I should have saved those flower petals from those roses that he had given me for my birthday so I could have something tangible. But I did remember that I saved many of his cards, which are packed away still, that I probably need to unpack in my office. But I do remember just last year, and for some reason I carried this in my backpack with other cards that I've received. And this is his, we call it Nengajo, and you'll hear of this during our New Year's fundraiser and New Year's celebration. So this was his Nengajo, and it's a New Year's card, New Year's greeting. And so, as I mentioned, Reverend Watanabe was an artist, and so he each year would send out Nengajo, New Year's cards that he created himself. And so if you can see, I believe this is Amida Buddha and Shinran Shonin and Renyo Shonin. in wishing us a happy new year. And last year he said, "Dearest Candace, I truly appreciate your tremendous kindness and help. I will never forget what you have done for me, especially the beautiful flowers you sent me," which I think he was referring to flowers that I sent him when he was undergoing treatment. "I will strive to spread the Buddha Dharma from Japan from now on. Please take good care of yourself. Thank you very much for everything. In Gasho, your friend, Nori." And so, this was something, again, very tangible that I could hold on to, that I felt like was a piece of him. But, there were so many other things that I could remember that weren't materialistic in nature. So many things that he had shared with me, such as his heart, that was so deeply steeped in the Dharma. And so, when I opened up with a Gosandai, or my opening hymn or message, I wanted to read that to you again. And so this is what Nori-san, Reverend Watanabe, has truly inspired me to really think about. So Shinran Shonin, he wrote, "It is difficult to meet true teachers and difficult for them to instruct. It is difficult to hear the teaching well, and more difficult still to accept it." And so when I think about this opening message, which was actually in one of Reverend Watanabe's, I think it was in a Dharma message that he had written that he shared with me, this struck me in regards to the way in which Reverend Watanabe lived his life. And he was always striving to be a very diligent student, as I had mentioned, but it was his passion to teach, his passion to share the Buddha Dharma through his life, and that means to share it through his illness as well. And I think for us, as followers of the Nembutsu, it might be difficult for us to be able to hear the teachings again, because maybe we are filled with maybe some of our own greed and anger and ignorance. And maybe for myself, I'm so filled with regret that it was very difficult for me to even accept his passing. But Reverend Watanabe had mentioned in many of his emails to me that his illness was something that he was thankful for. And it's hard to imagine being thankful for pancreatic cancer. But I think what his message was to really be able to now live his life fully in gratitude, and to accept, as I was mentioning in this Gosande, sometimes it is difficult to accept things like an illness, but he was able to accept his illness, maybe accept his diagnosis, be able to accept maybe his prognosis, that he may or may not be able to live a long time. But what he vowed to do was to live his life steeped in the Buddha Dharma and continue to share that, probably ultimately until he passed away. So even though Reverend Watanabe wasn't serving in the BCA, in the Buddhist Churches of America, when he returned to Japan, he still endeavored to share, to continue learning, continue teaching, and ultimately what he wanted to do was to continue to learn Italian, which he was able to speak Italian. And he wanted to go to Italy and share the Buddha Dharma in Italy, and in the native language of Italian as well, to share it with the native people of Italy. And so for me, I think what's most difficult is to live with some regret that I didn't get to talk to him. And maybe some of you have experienced loss such as this, very sudden loss, and the regret that you have. But I think what our loved ones, and maybe what Reverend Watanabe can continue to teach us, is to not live with regret, to live in gratitude, and to express those feelings that we're maybe afraid to express. Maybe to say those things, to be able to place our hands together, to live the life that we want to live with gratitude and deep joy. And so, again, I feel a little loss with my words today, but I hope the expression of my gratitude and what he's provided in my life, and maybe this very short time that we had together, has deeply impacted me. And I hope that maybe sharing about his life and even his passing will touch some of you, to be able to live a life deep in gratitude, to share everything that you want to share with your friends and loved ones, without hesitation, something that comes deep from your heart. And maybe to allow you to develop a Nembutsu connection with some of the teachings like impermanence and interconnection, all of these very basic teachings that we teach here at the temple, but are very, very profound. And so I urge you to not wait for an opportunity like this that I've experienced, to lose a dear friend, to really encounter the Nembutsu teachings in your life. And so what I wanted to do, I didn't prepare a beautiful slideshow because I know Darlene is very, very skilled in that. But what I wanted to do was just share a little piece of Reverend Watanabe with each of you, all of his wonderful artwork. And so this is just a very short slideshow of some of his work. Oh, can you hear I might not have shared my, hold on. I don't know if I shared my audio. Okay. And so the music is just instrumental, but it's Ondoksan, which we know of very well. Okay. Okay. And so that was, as I mentioned, Ondoksan. And I just wanted to, in conclusion, kind of read the translation for you. Okay. So Ondoksan is ingratitude. The debt of gratitude I owe to Amita's great compassion. I will proclaim until my life disintegrates into dust. The debt of gratitude I owe to my Dharma teachers, I will express until my bodily form is finally shattered. Namandouts, namandouts. And actually, Reverend Watanabe, he really loved singing Ondoksan. And I think for me now, this has a very personal meaning, not only because of Shinran Shonin and these beautiful words, but the way, again, in which Reverend Watanabe lived his life. And again, probably until his last breath, just thinking about the Buddha Dharma and reciting the Nembutsu. And so I'm sure he expressed all of his gratitude up until his very last day. And it was quite interesting how I was looking through Reverend Watanabe's pictures, and this was featured in the slideshow. And so this is one of his drawings of Amida Buddha. And now that I look at it, knowing that he's passed away, there's a likeness that I'm seeing in Amida Buddha's face. And now I see Reverend Watanabe's face as well. So, excuse me. I just, again, want to thank all of you for being, I guess, my friends in the Dharma, and always providing even comfort, being online with all of you today, and every day, especially during the pandemic, and just wanting to express my gratitude for having a Nebutsu connection. Because again, if I've learned anything through Reverend Watanabe's life and his passing, is to be able to express my deep gratitude to each of you who are also my Dharma friends, my Dharma teachers, and my friends in the Nebutsu. So thank you so much for being with me today and listening to my rambling. But I did want to dedicate this service to my dear friend, Reverend Masanori Watanabe. Okay, so please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Okay, so we have one last let's see, recitation. So please join me, and I believe, yes, our pledge. Okay, so please place your palms together for the recitation of our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, so now we have announcements. And I'm not sure who's doing announcements today, but I'll stop sharing so that we can feature you as well.
Join us on December 12th for our Bodhi Day service at 10 a.m. via Zoom. Our guest speaker is Reverend Katsuya Kusunoki, Rinban of the Seattle Betsuan and former minister of Lodi. We will also have the installation of officers of affiliated organizations of the church. Join us for our New Year's Eve service at 7 p.m. on December 31st, and our New Year's Day service will be at 11 a.m., also via Zoom. We will not have service on December 19th and 26th for winter break. Please watch our virtual fundraiser on December 26th at 1 p.m. on Facebook or YouTube. You can see the karma for more details. There are also master classes you can sign up to attend. And I think Darlene's going to put the flyer up. So these are some of the schedule of events and the master classes and the New Year's celebration. The Stockton YBA Toy Drive benefiting the San Joaquin County Child Protective Services will be on December 12th between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. Please bring new unwrapped toys to the church parking lot. Cash donations are also accepted so we can buy gift cards for the older students. Please see the karma for more details or the toy drive flyer right here. Reverend Shibata's book club study class will be taking a holiday break and will resume January 26, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. The featured book is Buddhism of the Heart by Jeff Wilson. The book is available on Amazon Smile in support of the Buddhist Church of Stockton. Pre-reading is not required as the group will read and interpret together. For the Zoom link, please contact the temple office. The Sangha Club is continuing to collect aluminum cans and plastic bottles. Donations may be left by the white bin under the carport area. We appreciate everyone who joins us from near and far for our virtual services. Much time and effort is put into creating an enjoyable experience for you, and we welcome any feedback you might like to provide. If there is anyone new to our service today, please unmute and introduce yourself, or if you are a bit shy, you may type it into the chat. I don't see or hear anybody. There will be a Sangha Club meeting for middle school students and a YBA meeting for high school and college students after the service today. Are there any other announcements?
Tiffany, can I make one?
Of course.
So we have a membership drive that is attached to our New Year's virtual fundraisers and the master classes. This membership drive is hopefully to increase our Sangha. We're on the internet now, where we have wonderful sermons by Reverend Shibata. So I hope you will encourage friends and family to join. There is a new category that the BCA has, which is for under 30 years old. And this will allow them for $50 to not only become a member of our temple, but the BCA as well. So if you have kids, grandkids that perhaps are away at college, or maybe don't have moved and don't live near a temple anymore, but are still Buddhists at heart, please consider giving the gift of membership for $50. And again, this can be done on the membership form that you received in the mail, or you can contact the temple office for an additional form, but $50 under age 30. And again, it brings them into our Sangha family as well as the BCA family. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements? Thank you, Darlene. If not, thank you all for attending today.
Thank you. Darlene, I was wondering maybe if you could share the information regarding the Nengajo one more time. So I hope, and this is another part of the New Year's celebration that the Doi sisters are putting together. And so I know maybe some of you have seen this. So Nengajo submissions. What we're really wanting to do is to encourage each of you to make your own New Year's card. And so remember, it can be something like this, like Reverend Watanabe's card. And it's a very popular salutation for New Year's, and I receive them from many of my Japanese friends. And so you could either hand draw like Reverend Watanabe did, or if you're good with the computer, you can maybe do some graphic designing for a single-sided card. And you can do something like this if you're inclined to maybe draw the Buddha or anything. And then the Doi sisters did say, if you need some inspiration, 2022 will be the year of the tiger. And so we can share these. We would like to share these during our programming. And so if you do draw something, then you can just take a picture of it with your smartphone, something that's very high quality. And nowadays smartphones are very high quality images. And you can turn it in to us and email at bcofstockton@gmail.com. And these submissions, we're really asking you to get these done by December 14th. So please, we urge you to contribute to our New Year's greeting cards so that we can feature yours as well. And so again, we do really want to encourage our membership to be able to participate in all of these wonderful activities that the Doi sisters are kind of putting together. They're a wonderful trio of young women who are really moving us into the 21st century, I think, with all of these different things that are online. And also for those of you that have an Instagram account, we officially have an Instagram page. And so, yay! And so I believe Megan, but I think all three of them are working on really putting information up on our Instagram, which then feeds onto our Facebook. So please definitely subscribe to YouTube, like Instagram, or subscribe or follow. I think follow is the word for Instagram, and then like us on Facebook as well, so that you can continue receiving all of our messages from different social media platforms. Okay, so thank you so much in advance for all of your support of this new program that they're so tirelessly working on. So thank you so much in advance. So thanks again for tuning in. And of course, I always want to express my appreciation to each of you for taking time out to join me for service. And thank you so much to our volunteers who so beautifully take care of the temple inside and out. Thank you to my dad, Tachibata, for your help with the altar. And of course, I can't thank Darlene and Charlie enough for all of your support with Zoom as well. Okay, and thank you, Tiffany Shibata, for doing the announcements today as well. Okay, so thanks so much, everybody. This will conclude this service, and then our students can go ahead and stay on. And of course, you can sign off at your convenience as well. Okay, so thanks, everybody. Have a safe weekend and a great week ahead. Okay, thanks so much. We'll see you again next week.